Hi everyone, and most welcome to Skillnaden's Nursery. My name is Sara, and it's a pleasure to finally invite you here. It's been a long time. And usually nowadays I publish videos in my English channel in Swedish with subtitles, hoping that you might want to follow my garden from home. I know that sometimes it's difficult for you to read and capture the subtitles in a long video, but I hope you enjoy to follow my garden at home. But now and then I also want to invite you to a video where I speak English. I know that it's easier for you to follow along. So today I wanted to take you with me to my nursery. This is a place that I sort of bought. It's nearly 3 years ago now, and it's very close to my home. It is 6 kilometers from my home garden, and I would not have been able to do this work here if it were like far away from home, but now it's very close, so it makes it much more easier for me to do this job as well. And I also have great help here with the colleagues, so I am not alone running this business. And we have now been opening here for like 3 summers. And after this summer, 2024, I decided that we would close the shop for the season. It's a very small garden center here. And now we only produce plants for sale in my web shop. And we send mainly in Sweden, but I mean, it's interesting to see a small local nursery as well, isn't it? Even though you can't buy some plants. I am in the middle of a project right now where I want to share with you a very loved houseplant of mine. I actually bought cuttings last summer, I think it was, 2023, from a plant that I saw on internet while searching for information about another plant, another Plectranthus. In Swedish we would say flaskljus. And the reason why I fell in love with this plant is because this is a great opportunity for me to care for a plant and to cut it. Everyone who knows me knows that I am obsessed with, do things with a scissor because I really like to cut and to form a plant. I have lots and lots of plants at home that I have this nice cup of tea and I sit watching my plant and I want to form it, more or less to make a small, personal bonsai. So this plant is actually an excellent plant to do some experiment with. And the foliage to this Plectranthus ernstii is very decorative, and it is also scented. Very nice scent. Well, it's almost like an herb, but it's not eatable, right? But what is very special about this plant is this: they have the very the stems are very thick, as you can see. It's like a succulent, very decorative, I think. And this plant is like 1 year old, and I bought it as a small cutting, so it grows very fast. And as I said, I fell in love with it because I can form it, I can work with it and to create something with it very easily, since it grows quite fast. And I simply like cutting. So this is what I'm going to do today with you. I have already done the first half of it, and now I will keep doing the second half of it. I don't know with you if you share the same interest, if you think it's great to do this kind of work with your plants as well, but I mean, to me it is, yeah, it's like a baby actually. I mean, it's not a baby, of course, but I mean, it gives me a very nice satisfaction to work with this and to care for it. And when I have done that, I pass it in my daily home life, and I simply enjoy it. I think I did a great job, and if not, I want to do it again and change things. And I think the flowers are so, so nice. I am going to start by cutting away some of the flower stems because these are becoming a little brown, but I will keep some of the other. I think I did almost exactly the same type of, care in July, and now it is September, so it grows very fast. And sometimes you don't even need to have a pair of scissors. You can only remove the leaves by hand, being very careful. I am now thinking about if I should mention this most spectacular thing about this specific plant, but I don't know if you would like that, or my photographer, Ida. But it is very special to me because this is actually the first plant that I put in my compost from my outdoor toilet. So this is actually, a poo compost. Don't worry, it's very old, and you should not plant like edible plants in that kind of compost when it's it's not fresh, it's not the right word for it. All of a sudden this was a video that I did not plan for. But it works really well, and I think this plant have developed in a very good way, so I will definitely keep using it for houseplants. So you see, what I want to do is simply to remove leaves and the side shoots so that the stems are shown in a better way. And then I leave the side shoots up here so that I can form like clusters of shoots and then flower stems simply like above the thick stems. This is a plant that you can keep out of direct sun, so it can stand not directly in a window. Through the summer it has grown in our greenhouse here at the nursery. It grows okay. This is also a trick that you can use, is something that one can see when you arrange flowers, for example, that you have one side of a bouquet or an arrangement that are more like heavier, and another side that are more lighter. So in this case I want to form this as like the heavy side. It's more, well, massive, and this side is lighter. Not as many stems. Isn't it pretty? I have to mention also that this is like not the end for this plant. I do this because I have something else in mind also, that I want to keep continuing working with this plant, and in, let's say, another few weeks it has grown more so that I can keep forming it. I would like to mention something about how to propagate this plant, and it's done very easy with cuttings. And one thing I would like to recommend you, if you want to propagate this plant or any other house plant, flowers, perennials, or whatever that you want to propagate with cuttings, I see many people do this mistake, and it is to take like a long cutting from like a geranium or this plant or whatever, and thinking that it might give a better result because it's big. But that is not the case actually, because a large cutting may be it may be a problem for the plant to well, to get water through the long stem and out through the foliage. So it is much better to take a small cutting, right? So in this case, this size would be a very nice size. So you simply remove the leaves down the stem and put it directly into compost. And when you choose a pot for your cutting, you will go for a small pot or maybe even a plug tray with only a small amount of compost. If you use a bigger pot, it may be too damp for this cutting and it may rot. So it's better to go for a small size. And here at the nursery, we actually we start many cuttings in plug trays. If you want, I can go get one to show you. We might be so lucky that we actually find here. Check this out. Look at all the plants, right? I didn't know I was so lucky to find a tray with the exact plant. Come have a look. So this is just a tiny little cutting from the beginning. And in the very beginning, this was just the size of this. And this tray is just about to be transplanted into a bigger pot and get ready for someone of my customer. This was just a very small visit to my business here at the nursery. We also grow many cut flowers as a cut flower farm. We do some arrangements with flowers, etc., etc. But the main part now is actually to grow plenty of plants for our web shop, and it has turned out in an amazing way, I must say. I have never dreamt of, having a web shop selling flowers, or selling flowers in any kind of way, or plants, not only flowers. But here I am, and I'm very grateful for that development of my business. And it is actually a great way also to, to write about how to garden and how to care for plants, and then also be able to sell plants, because people very much like that. And I do too buy plenty of plants by web shops. I really do like it. So. But since most of you are watching from other parts of the world, it is not possible for you to buy the plants, but you can follow along with some of the work, right? And this was the Plectranthus ernstii, in Swedish flaskljus. I hope you like the result. It will be a pleasure to watch this further on and to see how it develops. Thank you for watching, and keep watching my videos using the subtitle function, and now and then I will turn up, say hi in English as well. I really much appreciate you following. In this channel, I have two channels. I have one Swedish channel as well. People are more shy on giving comments and not very used to give thumbs up, etc. But you are, and I and my colleagues are very happy about that, because it gives me very much energy to continue. So thank you for that. And get yourself one of these plants. It's a really nice house plant. Bye bye.